What's going on, people? It's Sunday morning, and 17th of July. Got to check my calendar. Cheers, people. You know, I just did that podcast interview with Stuart Chittenden, and I turned on the radio this morning, and the main station I listen to locally is KIOS, and that's his show on right now. It's 9 in the morning, prime time. So that's when I'll be on. I don't know the date of that my will be aired, but I said, whoa, prime time. I like that. How are you doing, folks? How are you? I'm doing okay. Been thinking about depression a little bit. The fact that I talked about it a bit, and in that interview with Stuart, and just been kind of checking in with myself to see, how am I actually doing, and all I can say is my coping skills are working well, because I don't feel depressed, although it's there. It's there. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm feeling. It's how you feel. So I had a nice thing happen yesterday. I'd gotten a hold of FPE Records, the label that put up. I'm going to call it my label, okay, since I have a pending another release coming from them. But I asked them if they could, I told them I have a upcoming show. I'm not doing too many shows under my own name, and asked if they could send me some merchandise, some records, and so I was happy to get some. I love it too. They're sealed. I'm really very proud of this album. So I'll have some to sell at my upcoming Lincoln Calling Festival gig. Looking forward to it very much. On the music front, I'm doing good as far as staying out of the record stores. I only bought that one record this week, the new Black MIDI. Interesting looking at the comments about it. It is very good. It is. All you gotta do is listen. But I'll be the first to say that I can recognize music that's good, but that doesn't mean I'm going to like it. Got my Brand X t-shirt on. I forget who sent this to me, maybe possibly Anthony Ferraro. But, yeah. There's some music that's really good, but it doesn't interest me. We're all individuals, so what I'm trying to say is, don't use me like some kind of, you can use me to my recommendations to listen and find stuff. But I'm telling you what I like. I'm not trying to tell the world what they're supposed to like. Not at all. Not at all. Just a little bit of music last night. Just a little bit. Brave New World. This is a release that came out on Vertigo, which is, if you can find one, very expensive. This is a Wawa reissue. The cover's a little wonky on the bottom, but this is really excellent. I listened to all of it last night. There's parts of it where it's a little, it's a little uncomfortable. There's a certain amount of improvisation going on here, I can tell. Someone plays a penny whistle or some other type of whistle, and there's a couple parts where it's like they just, man, why don't they stop? It's kind of like they're really caught up in the moment, and it's like, well, I can feel something here, but what you're playing kind of sucks, and those parts take away from the overall, because the overall musical picture is really dynamic and really good, deep, almost jazz-like, very collage-like. Brave New World. I had been wanting a copy of this forever, and way back in the 70s when it came out is when I saw original copies, didn't have the money for it. So, Brave New World. Still, probably my favorite Weather Report album, Sweetnighter. This has a wonderful ostinato type of groove on it with boogie woogie waltz. They could play it forever and it would stay fresh. And that's what's interesting. This was made in 1973. Engineering wise, it sounds like it, but playing wise, it could be today. Brilliant. Seen Weather Report 3 times. Fantastic. Met Wayne Shorter and Miroslav Vitus. Wonderful people. So, in the package that Matt from FPE sent me, more copies of my album, he sent me some extras. Sent me another copy of this album that he put out, Bass Dreams Minus B. Now, I have to admit, when he sent me a copy when it first came out, and my first impression was kind of, oh, this is okay. So when I ended up with another copy of it, which I'll be passing on to someone that I know will appreciate it, it's like it came more into focus. It's like, okay, there's a little bit of a jam band aspect to this, the way it hits me. It's like it takes it a while to kind of get to gel. It takes it a while to kind of come together. However, this time when I listened to it, I could tell from the beginning that there are some good things going on and some potent players. So it's another good one on the FPE label. He sent me some other stuff, but I haven't listened to it yet. This other new, newer reissue of theirs, Rabbit's Eye. The Damage was terrific. I tried to listen to some of this online. It didn't catch me, so I'm going to have to open this up and listen to it. Brian Day, if you happen to see this, Brian Day, instrument maker, friend of mine, used to make music with him. He put out some music of mine on his Public ISO label. He sent me a recent issue by him and Ypsmael and Eloine. Lost Teeth. This is on a different label. It's not on Public Eyesore. It looks like this is out of England, possibly. I like this, Brian. Okay. First off, Brian, I'm going to talk to you like because I know you will watch this eventually. It's interesting, Brian. You're an instrument maker and you're a very deep thinking person. I recognize your sounds. You have a sound. Literally, the sound of your instruments, I recognize it right away. What's cool about this is the way that it mixes with what Ypsmael does. It's like almost a perfect marriage where it's like at parts you hear it literally like the sounds are being taken and put into a blender and then they come out inside out. I haven't listened to this entire CD because stuff like this, especially in today's world for me, I really have to be in a mood to dedicate a long period of time to noise music. Yes, I'll say that about it because I do enjoy sound. So I'll be getting back to this. But I can recommend this, people, okay? Especially you folks that like sound, noise music. I'll shout you out, Hugh. H-U-W is how you... Is it Hugh or Ho? I'm thinking it's Hugh. I'll recommend this to you. Ypsmael and Eloine. They also sent me this, which I had been curious about. I'm glad that Matt sent me a copy of this. The Miyumi Project. Look at that beautiful cover. The best of the Miyumi Project. Turns out that this is a collective of Asian and African American musicians in Chicago that's been going on for quite a while now. They've put out several releases. It explains in here what's going on. I read most of it, but this is I haven't listened to the second album. It's more contemplative on first impression, as far as the improvisation, like the cover, like streams flowing and people interacting in the water, as opposed to being a fiery ritual where people are getting all worked up. I like both versions. I love fire music. I love fiery improvisation, free jazz. That fire happens outside of free jazz as well. There's some really excellent improvisation that happens in all types of music. But I was glad to get this, Matt, if you see this, the Miyumi project. And again, it makes me very proud to be on your label, to be on FPE. This is a good little label. You know, what it decides to put out is pretty far out. Pulled this, hadn't played this in a long time, and boy, was I missing out. Art Land with Jan Garbarek, early ECM album, number 38 on the label. Red Lanta, gorgeous. This is just gorgeous. And some really happy light playing from Jan Garbarek. Jan Garbarek has an icy tone to his saxophone, which I can't take for very long. And so there's more warmth in what he's doing on this album. And some of his earlier stuff, it seemed like he got icier as time went on with his. There's actually records where it's like, it's piercing. It's like it's uncomfortable. This is wonderful. Red Lanta, Art Land, and Jan Garbarek. Truly, truly wonderful. This came up, and I was trying to pull one record, and this was stuck to it, so I just pulled them both. Then I went ahead and played it, and it's like, boy, do I love this band Clannad from Ireland. Crann Ull. I think it's an early album of theirs. I don't speak the language, don't need to. The shape of their melodies, I'm part Irish, you know, I know it on my dad's side, besides being African of some descent and Choctaw Indian. I'm Irish. So when I first started to encounter Irish folk music as a little boy, it sparked me. I just felt it. There's a lot of Irish music that's sad, and it has as much soul as the black soul. That's something I noticed early on, and it informed me that it's like this whole idea that there's a difference between the races, other than, you know, surface cultural things. We're all the same. We all feel deeply. This is a beautiful album, Clannad. Beautiful. This Heat, I recently added this to my collection. This is live recordings, and the fidelity is not the greatest. Doesn't matter. This is some really strong stuff. I've been thinking about approaching Charles from the band Charles Hayward to see if he would be interested in doing a Zoom interview with me. I'll bug him when it feels right. I try to go, not try to, but I pay attention to my instincts, my body, and my moods. And because there's been a lot of accuracy there over the years, and it's like, it seems like a good idea to check in with Charles Hayward to see if he might want to get online and talk. So I'll do that sometime. A couple more. Played more music than I realized, and I enjoyed every minute of it. From the 70s. Now, I was talking yesterday about this new band, Born, I got turned on to, that sound like retro prog, and it doesn't interest me. But this is the prog that happened when it was happening back in the 70s. Osanna from Italy, Palepoli. This, I think, is probably their best. It seems to be some kind of concept album, or it comes off like that. Love that inner sleeve. It has folk elements as well as the prog. This is a wonderful album. But I'm interested in hearing all of this stuff from the period. The idea of bands nowadays trying to sound like the old days, that idea just in general doesn't interest me. Although some things can happen. Last thing in the pile down here, Clark, electronic music, the Warp label, early 2000s, Turning Dragon. Not intelligent dance music, not dance music at all. Electronic music. Interesting. He works with some interesting, very metallic sounding timbres. So Clark music is pretty distinct. When I hear Clark, I recognize his sound right away. So that's what I have musically. The other new CD I need to listen to before I say anything, Martin. I played part of it once. Army of Briars, Made from a Broken Star. The first track is gorgeous, but I have to listen more before I say anything. Last thing I'll mention is that I see that my great nephews, the Higgins twins, their models, have started their own YouTube channel, and I thought it was quite sweet. Their first topic is talking about what it's like to be a twin. It just touches me. It tickles me. That's my blood. So anyway,
into the mainstream without ever having to compromise an ounce of integrity.
So interesting. The artist on Stuart Chittenden's show this morning is a musician. Well, people in Omaha know who I am, but I'm familiar with a lot of musicians in Omaha. That's Edem Kagaro that he's interviewing this morning. Local artist who she focuses a lot on African.
Now the opportunity for a closing song.
Yeah. So the song I'm going to be performing for you today is called Mountain Song.
Yeah, real. She plays acoustic instruments, and I think one of her first shows where she broke out was where she was an opener for me on one of my shows years ago. But I love the lady, and I've loved to see how her music and career have developed over the years. So she's this week's guest. But I'm really jazzed about the fact that my interview will be on this show, which I didn't realize is in this prime time spot of 9 o'clock Sunday mornings here in Omaha. So a lot of people are going to hear it. I'll let you know when it goes. I mean, it'll be online as well. But the fact that it's going to be on the radio, that tickles me. I love that. Okay, people, I'm talking about myself. I know I am. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to give yourself credit and enjoy the things that you do. Again, in feeling still the loss of my brother, quite honestly, very strongly, it informs me to just be here now in the moment and try to just take in life as it's going on. Just try to be here for things as they happen and take it in. I want to use the word enjoy, but what I mean is deeper than that, is to just be present for life. We spend an inordinate amount of time in our heads tripping about the past and freaking out about the future, or just tripping about the future. And think about yourself when I say this. We'll have so much shit going on in the head, we're missing what's happening right around us. So that's where I'm at, is just keeping it simple and enjoying time. And the fact that I'm still alive, that's where I'm at. Enjoy life, people. How are you doing?